Hello, today we are going to be looking at a Leetcode problem number 209, which is minimum size subarray sum. Now, what this problem says is that you're provided with two inputs. The first one is nums, which is an array of positive integers, and the second one is a target, which is a single positive integer. Now, using these two inputs, you have to find subarrays where the sum is greater than or equal to target. What they're saying is that there can be multiple such subarrays where the sum is greater than or equal to target, and we have to identify the subarray which has the lowest possible length. Now, to solve this problem, we can use the rolling window property of positive integer arrays. What the rolling window property says is that you basically start with a running variable. Let's say that this is the current sum. You start with 0, and then what you do is you keep accumulating the values. So you say plus x1 plus x2 plus x3. You keep accumulating the values as long as this is lesser than your target. As soon as this becomes equal to your target, we get into so this is the expansion mode, where I am just increasing the size of my window, adding more elements, and increasing the value of my running variable. And then it's the shrink phase. Then it's a shrinking phase where I have exceeded the target value, and now I am going to drop elements from my window to reduce my sum. Okay, and what this does it gives you opportunity to create a new subarray starting from here and grow from here. That is the advantage that you have with the rolling window. So let us quickly look at the pseudocode for this. Okay, so we're going to start with a pointer which will be on the left hand side. So that's going to be the start pointer. I also need few more variables. I need to maintain the running sum, so let's call it the current sum. It's going to be initialized to 0. I also need to maintain the minimum length because that's the expectation from the problem. So I maintain another variable called minimum length. I'm going to set it to a very large default values so that I can keep updating this. Now let's start my for loop, and I'm gonna traverse over some array. Okay, so to start with, my start and my end both are pointing here, but through this for loop I'm going to move the end pointer here, and keep expanding as long as my sum, or rather my current sum, is lesser than the target. So let's do that. So for end in range of length of nums, okay, I'm going to expand and keep adding the value to my running sum. Alright, so once I've done that, there is a possibility that the sum could have become equal to or larger than my target itself. In that case, I need to shrink the window. Alright, so let's do that. So while current sum is greater than or equal to target, there are two things I need to do. I need to find the minimum length, and I need to shrink the array. So let's do that. So our minimum length is equal to the minimum of the current running length that I have and the present size of the array that has gotten me here. So I will say end minus start plus 1, which is the size of the subarray that has gotten me to this particular sum. Now once this happens, I will reduce my current sum by the first element and move the first pointer forward by 1. Now, by the time this loop has finished, I would have gotten, I would have processed multiple subarrays, potentially looked at their lengths, identified the minimum length across all of those subarrays, and now I'm ready to return. So I can return the min length here, but there's a catch. In case the length of this nums was 0, or if I was never able to reach sum greater than or equal to target, then this min length has never gotten updated, in which case I will have to return 0. So I will say you have written min length if min length is lesser than the default value, else I will return 0. Hope this made sense. You can implement this in your own favorite programming language. That's all from me. Thank you.